Tonight, breaking news, the hostages just released. Where are the Americans? In the U.S., the deadly home explosion, the crater in the ground, and the arrest warrant at this hour for a Buffalo Bills star in Dallas. First, the new images coming in tonight. 8 hostages freed by Hamas, 30 Palestinians released by Israel. Among the hostages freed, a 21-year-old daughter rushing into her mother's arms. She had been seen in that video released by Hamas, pleading for help in getting out. Matt Gutman in Israel tonight. Here in the U.S., emergency crews racing to that scene. The house explosion, at least one body recovered. Tracking severe storms at this hour, the system set to move into the east tomorrow. Washington, D.C. to Philadelphia to New York City. Rob Marciano timing it out. Tonight, the NFL star and the arrest warrant now issued in Dallas. A Buffalo Bills player accused of assaulting his pregnant girlfriend. The warning tonight about an outbreak of pneumonia in children in one Ohio county. 142 cases reported, and what authorities are now saying, and what they're also seeing with COVID and flu across this country. Whit Johnson tonight. New York Congressman George Santos, will he be expelled tomorrow? Rachel Scott and what she's learned on the Hill. The passing of Henry Kissinger at the age of 100, shaping Cold War history, the deeply influential diplomat, and controversial too. And his secret work set up that historic trip, Richard Nixon to China. Jonathan Carl reporting. After leaving Shark Tank and agreeing to sell the majority stake in his NBA team, does Mark Cuban want to run for president? What he's now saying tonight. And for anyone with a dog, the drug being studied right now by the FDA, what they're saying, could it make your pet live longer?
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a very busy Thursday night. We do begin tonight with the hostage release and this ceasefire about to end. This temporary extension of the truce between Israel and Hamas set to expire now in hours. Tonight, 8 more Israeli hostages released by Hamas, but no Americans. The nighttime release, Red Cross vehicles taking custody of several of those hostages in Gaza, driving them through the Rafah crossing into Egypt. Separately, a daytime release of 2 other women, a 40-year-old Israeli woman, a lawyer, kidnapped while hiding in the shelter in her home. That wife learned today that her husband did not survive the attack. And a 21-year-old daughter, a French and Israeli national, kidnapped from that music festival. She had been seen in a video Hamas had released just days after the terror attack. You'll remember it, begging her family to help bring her home. Tonight, look at this. The images of Mia running into the arms of her mother and her brother. Also tonight, the deadly attack at a bus stop in Jerusalem, Hamas claiming responsibility already. Video circulating online showing the moment Palestinian gunmen attacked that bus stop. 4 people were killed. Secretary Antony Blinken is in the region tonight amid these urgent negotiations to try to extend this truce to get more of the hostages, including the Americans, out. ABC's Matt Gutman leading us off from Israel tonight.
Tonight, that tearful embrace, the sobs of relief, and the moment the family of 21-year-old Mia Shem, held hostage for 55 days, finally reunited. A mother holding on to the daughter she thought she'd lost. And just a few hours earlier, that massive crowd surrounding Mia and another hostage, gunmen escorting her to that Red Cross van in Gaza. Mia's mother getting the phone call that her daughter was coming home. We first spoke with Mia's mother 6 weeks ago after her family watched this video released by Hamas showing Mia in captivity, pleading to her family to help her get home, wounded and hollow-eyed days after she was taken hostage from that music festival on October 7th.
Nothing will ever be the same for you.
Of course it's... I mean, this is the worst nightmare every mother can have.
Hamas freeing 8 hostages today, none of them Americans, more than 100 still being held, with Israel releasing 30 more Palestinian women and minors amid urgent negotiations. That temporary ceasefire set to expire in hours. And the fragile truce threatened today. Video circulating online showing the moment Palestinian gunmen attacked a bus stop in Jerusalem, opening fire, sending the crowd running. At least 4 Israelis killed, including a pregnant woman, several more wounded. Hamas claiming responsibility. Tonight, Israel with renewed vows to eradicate Hamas and move to the next phase of the war in southern Gaza. We pressed the IDF.
You're saying that southern Gaza could look like northern Gaza?
I'm saying that if Hamas is in southern Gaza, we have no choice but to go after Hamas where they are located.
so many civilians living in bombed-out neighborhoods. 15,000 people have been killed in Gaza, according to the health ministry run by Hamas, the UN warning of an epic humanitarian catastrophe with nearly 2 million Palestinians displaced. Our team met 40-year-old Najla Mata in Khan Yunis. She supports the truce, but says there's no water and no food. The simplest things in life are not there for us to live. And tonight, rising concern over the fate of 8 American hostages still believed held in Gaza. Israeli and American officials admitting they know little about their condition or even which group is holding them. This is the last video Iris Hagai Liniato says she has of her mother, Judy, an American citizen, her parents taking their morning walk when gunmen shot them.
What is it like living with this uncertainty for so long now?
It's a nightmare, you know. Not knowing for 55 days is, I won't wish this upon anybody.
And so let's bring in Matt Gutman back with us again tonight from Tel Aviv. And Matt, with this temporary extension of this ceasefire set to expire now in hours, what more are you learning tonight about these urgent negotiations to try to extend this?
David, multiple Israeli sources say that they're willing to extend that ceasefire as long as Hamas can continue to release hostages. But the available pool of hostages that Hamas considers eligible, women and children, is significantly smaller now. And that major U.S. diplomatic push we're seeing is not only geared to seeing more hostages released, but also to allow more time for desperately needed humanitarian aid to flow into Gaza before fighting resumes. David.
Matt Gutman leading us off from Tel Aviv again tonight. Matt and the team, thank you. We turn now to the other news this Thursday night, and back here in the U.S., the deadly house explosion in St. Paul, Minnesota. Neighbors calling 911 to report a terrible sound, and afterward you can see here the home leveled. At least one body recovered, and here's ABC's Trevor Ault tonight.
Tonight, authorities investigating what caused this house explosion in Minnesota. This traffic video showing the fiery aftermath, at least one body recovered.
This is going to be a house explosion with fire, multiple calls on it.
The blast rocking this South St. Paul neighborhood just after 6 this morning, startling neighbors awake.
Basically, I heard a big loud boom and it shook my house.
Firefighters responding quickly, working to extinguish the flames, the house leveled to smoldering debris.
The entire house is missing, garage is still intact.
Authorities say they found the body inside that garage 3 hours after the explosion, though they've yet to identify the person killed. Neighbors say 3 people lived at the home, though tonight police say the homeowner wasn't there at the time of the explosion, and they're confident no other victims were inside, but the investigation is ongoing.
We'll probably be out here most of the day. The back of the house is totally flattened, so we'll have to dig through the entire house methodically and uncover any evidence of what caused the fire.
And David, while the fire chief says the cause of this explosion is still undetermined, he did specify tonight that at least so far, there's no signs of a gas leak at this home. David?
Trevor Ault on this tonight. Trevor, thank you. We are also tracking a severe weather threat at this hour. Still the possibility of tornadoes in the south as this system then moves into the east, the I-95 corridor tomorrow from Washington, D.C. to Philadelphia to New York. Senior meteorologist Rob Marciano back with us again tonight. Hey, Rob.
Hi, David. We've been pretty lucky so far, but still a few hours left of that tornado threat in the south. I'm talking Houston along I-10 towards Lake Charles. There you see in the warm sector, the storms continue to bubble up north of the warm front. There's where the heavy rain is, and that's going to be reaching north and east during the day tomorrow across the Ohio River Valley in the morning, over the Appalachians in the afternoon, and boom, into the I-95 corridor right around the evening rush. We could see heavy rain there. The trail end of the cold front then, as that clears out Saturday morning, rough storms could be heading into the Panhandle. Meanwhile, a parade of storms lining up in the Pacific. The Northwest really going to get hammered with several bounds of rain and heavy mountain snow. Could see 2 to 4 feet in the mountains, 5 to 10 inches of rainfall through Monday. This comes on the heels of extreme drought this summer. With rising rivers this week, and that drought is going away. David?
We'll be watching that as well for sure. Rob Marciano with us. Thank you, Rob. We turn next tonight here to the Buffalo Bills star and the arrest warrant tonight. Police issuing the warrant for NFL star Von Miller, accused of assaulting his pregnant girlfriend at their home in Dallas. Here's our investigative correspondent Aaron Kotursky tonight.
Tonight, star Buffalo Bills linebacker Von Miller turning himself into police, accused of assaulting his girlfriend of 7 years. Police say they responded to what they called a major disturbance at a Dallas home late Wednesday morning. Court records say Miller's girlfriend told police they were arguing about upcoming travel plans when she slammed the door of the office, which made Miller visibly angry. As she tried to leave, Miller allegedly began to shove and push her, all while telling her to leave. And at one point, she says he began applying pressure around her neck for 3 to 5 seconds before letting go. And while the altercation was going on, she kept yelling, "Stop, I'm pregnant." She was treated for minor injuries, Miller leaving the scene before police arrived. The 34-year-old was the Super Bowl MVP in 2016 while playing for the Denver Broncos. He's now in his second season with the Bills. The Bills and the NFL said they're aware of an incident involving Von Miller. We've yet to hear, David, from Miller himself tonight. David?
Aaron Gutersky. Thank you, Aaron. Now to the troubling outbreak of pneumonia in one Ohio county, with children reporting 142 cases, a number local health officials say is extremely high. Also tonight here, what health authorities are now seeing across this country when it comes to COVID and the flu. Here's Whit Johnson.
Tonight, health officials in Ohio raising concern about an outbreak of pneumonia in children. Warren County, just north of Cincinnati, saying they've seen an extremely high number of pediatric pneumonia cases, reporting 142 children infected since August. The county medical director saying they were alerted to the rise by local school districts.
We've had several districts, one or two in particular, that have been disproportionately hit.
The district reporting the most common symptoms include cough, fever, and fatigue. The average age of children impacted is 8 years old, but they have not seen an uptick in hospitalizations and no deaths.
And they haven't seen a lot of inpatient admissions, which is good.
The CDC telling ABC News they are monitoring the situation, but there are no unusual patterns of pneumonia nationwide.
These are predictable patterns of illness that happen in our kids every year.
This outbreak in Ohio coming amid those alarming images overseas. China facing a surge in hospitalizations. Today, the CDC director testifying before Congress saying that surge is not due to a new virus.
We do not believe this is a new or novel pathogen. We believe this is all existing, meaning COVID, flu, RSV.
China hit with its first cold and flu season since lifting its strict COVID restrictions.
Despite the headlines we were seeing in China, there's no indication that there's any new viruses or bacteria spreading from country to country.
That is encouraging for now. We'll keep watching the scene in China. Also, this local county in Ohio, what they're seeing with children. In the meantime, Whit, I know they're also looking at flu and COVID across the country. And what are they seeing?
Yes, David, as the winter season draws closer, the CDC reports, as you can see in these maps here, a rise in flu cases in the south and COVID cases in parts of the Midwest. As for that outbreak in Ohio, county health officials say they do not believe they're dealing with a new respiratory disease, but instead likely a variety of common illnesses hitting all at once. David?
It is that time of year for sure. Whit Johnson with us tonight. Whit, thanks as always. We turn now to Capitol Hill tonight on the eve of a key vote that will determine whether New York area Congressman George Santos is expelled. ABC's Rachel Scott on the Hill again tonight.
On Capitol Hill today, the last stand of disgraced Congressman George Santos, who could be expelled from the House by this time tomorrow.
If I leave, they win. If I leave, the bullies take place. This is bullying.
But on the House floor, the Republican chairman of the Ethics Committee says Santos is not a victim.
Representative Santos sought to fraudulently exploit every aspect of his House candidacy for his own personal profit.
The Ethics Committee concluding Santos stole money from his campaign to pay for rent, designer clothes, and even Botox. Separately, the congressman faces trial on 23 federal criminal charges, including identity theft and credit card fraud. He has pleaded not guilty and today vowed to fight.
I will not stand by quietly. They want me out of this body. The people of the 3rd District of New York sent me here.
But New York Republicans are pushing back.
George Santos is not the person he offered to voters. He didn't work where he said he did. He didn't go to school where he said he did. He's far from rich. He isn't Jewish. And his mother was not in the South Tower during 9/11.
Today, a handful of Republicans standing to defend Santos, noting that in modern times, Congress has never expelled a member who wasn't convicted of a crime.
Kicking out Mr. Santos is setting a very dangerous precedent.
The leader of House Democrats says it's not about precedent. It's about power.
The question that we should all be asking is, why is George Santos still around? Why? Because House Republicans needed George Santos's vote.
David, that vote is slated to happen tomorrow. Even Congressman George Santos says he is expecting to be expelled. And if that does happen, it would be effective immediately, David.
You'll be reporting on it. Rachel Scott tonight. Rachel, thank you. We turn now to the passing of Henry Kissinger at the age of 100. Kissinger, of course, shaping Cold War history. The deeply influential diplomat was controversial, too. 12 presidents went to Dr. Kissinger for advice, formally or informally, right up until this year. Here's Jonathan Carl.
Powerful and polarizing, loved by some and loathed by others, Henry Kissinger advised a dozen U.S. presidents and did more to define America's role post-World War II than perhaps any other. An astonishing feat for someone who left Nazi Germany as a Jewish refugee with his family at age 15.
There is no country in the world where it is conceivable that a man of my origins could be standing here next to the President of the United States.
He got a PhD at Harvard, where he was a professor until President Nixon appointed him National Security Advisor and then Secretary of State, the only person ever to hold both jobs at the same time. Kissinger led secret negotiations with Mao's China, laying the groundwork for Nixon's historic trip in 1972, and the reestablishment of relations between the U.S. and China, a Cold War masterstroke designed to isolate the Soviet Union. He was also the architect of détente, the policy of reducing tensions with the Soviets, leading to a landmark nuclear treaty. He would negotiate an end to the Vietnam War, or more accurately, an end to America's role in that war.
We believe that peace is at hand.
Kissinger would share the Nobel Peace Prize for ending America's involvement, but the war would rage on for another 2 years. His critics accused him of prolonging it, calling him a war criminal after carpet bombing of Cambodia killed tens of thousands.
Foreign policy has to reflect the continuing values of the American people.
Kissinger's critics say he stripped U.S. policy of morality, supporting dictators and human rights abusers when he believed it served America's interests. A diplomat until the very end, he continued meeting with leaders around the globe, even traveling to China this year at age 100, receiving a warm welcome and a meeting with President Xi Jinping. And it's not just that trip to China. Kissinger was remarkably active right until the end. He wrote a book just last year on leadership, and this year he wrote an article in Foreign Affairs magazine on the dangers and challenges posed by artificial intelligence. David, that article was published just last month.
Yeah, that's incredible. Active until the very end and very concerned about AI.
Yes.
John Carl tonight on Henry Kissinger. When we come back here in the broadcast, the horrific scene on the highway, 2 state troopers killed in a deadly hit and run. Also news tonight on billionaire Mark Cuban after revealing he will leave Shark Tank. Does he want to run for president? And a drug to extend your dog's life? Tonight, 2 Nevada state troopers have been killed in a hit and run while trying to help another driver on a Las Vegas freeway. The troopers stopping to check on a driver on the side of the road asleep behind the wheel on Interstate 15. Authorities say both troopers were struck by a white Chevrolet SUV. Tonight, we have now learned that a suspect has been arrested. When we come back here, does Mark Cuban from Shark Tank want to run for president? And this news on a possible drug to extend your dog's life. What the FDA is saying about this tonight. To the Index, and after revealing he's leaving Shark Tank next season and is now selling the majority stake in his NBA franchise for $3.5 billion, Mark Cuban was asked if he will run for president. He did float the idea in 2016. Tonight, still insisting he has no plans to run in 2024, again saying this is all because he wants to spend more time with his family. Tonight, the FDA is weighing a new drug designed to help your dog live longer. The biotech company Loyal developing medication to extend a dog's lifespan. Company officials say the FDA has signaled that their data shows the drug appears to be effective. The FDA says it still needs more data on this. The company hopes to receive conditional approval in 2 years. When we come back here tonight, some incredible dogs, in fact. They're before and they're after. And there's a good reason for this. Finally tonight, the dogs ready for their close-up and for their new home. Tonight in Tampa, Florida, one photographer's idea to help find hundreds of dogs their forever homes. Lady, Bailey, Maya, all of these photos professionally taken by Adam Goldberg, owner of a Gold Photo Pet Photography. And every one of these dogs in need of adoption. Adam and his team taking their gear to the Humane Society of Tampa Bay. Their mission to replace the shelter intake photos with professional ones, better capturing the dogs' personalities and attracting potential new families. Hazel with her head tilt.
Good girl.
Her photo. 4-year-old Meadow before and after. Sweetie and her photo shoot. This was her intake photo sitting on the chair, and this is her professional one. And right here tonight,
hi, David.
Adam, the photographer, and Hershey, the dog, looking for a home.
We love being able to take new photos of shelter animals and help them get adopted faster. Hopefully this new picture will get them adopted.
Hershey before and Hershey after, and it worked.
Hi, David.
Tonight, Phil Perez and his family now adopting Hershey.
We fell in love with this picture online. He's a great addition to our family, and we wish the best of luck with future adoptions.
What an incredible idea and what a gift for these dogs. I'm David Muir. We'll see you tomorrow night. Good night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.